Hey, and welcome to another edition of the Wake Up Late with Dougie show. I am your host, Dougie Almeida, coming to you from Simpsonville, South Carolina, where I'm blending in every day. Welcome back. We actually out for a couple weeks. I was on the road. I was in Florida doing shows, sweating my balls off in South Florida, but had some great shows down there and had a lot of fun. And now back in South Carolina, and it's beautiful here. And we're back. And we're back with a regular co-host here on the show. Mr. Steve Mudflap McGrew and special guest Brian Dunkleman. What's up, fellas?
What's up? How's it going?
What the fuck?
Is that a new character? Is that your baghead character? I love it.
Yeah.
We got to get you out to LA, man.
Well, everybody's
Is it
doing
Matt
tin
Damon
foil.
still on?
I'm going with plastic.
Yeah. That wearing the plastic will keep you from being able to listen to CNN. You know, listen. First of all, the three of us, if you can take the amount of pussy we've had from the three of us here in the last 2 months, we'd be like Boy Scouts. You know what I mean? We'd be like the chess club in middle school. The amount of pussy we've been getting.
Rack up numbers, man. Rack them up.
Do you smell that? That's called sarcasm.
I just don't want to fuck anybody our age. That's the problem.
Right?
Nobody as old as us. That's disgusting.
Isn't that the reason most older guys go for younger women? Because I for the fun of it, and I mentioned this, I've gone on silver singles for the material, and just to kind of see, this is the first time I've been single in 30 years. I mean, for God's sakes, you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, well, what the fuck? I mean, I remember back when I was in the 20s, I used to be, dashing. I used to have women take second looks. Now, and you look at this, and all the ones that reach out to me are like, oh my God, like what the fuck makes this woman think I would go out with her? And then I realized I'm her peer. She's looking at me like, I guess.
But here's the deal. I mean, look at the three of us. We have obviously all tried to take care of ourselves over the years. I mean,
Right.
most people would not guess our ages, and so I would expect the same from somebody that goes, you can't just be like, hey, we're the same age. We're probably perfect for each other.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've been getting hit on a lot, which is great. I just would prefer that it be by women. It still feels good.
Ow!
Yeah.
I would say it means more to get hit on by a gay guy than a woman. I'm keeping it tight. It's all about
Lisa,
options.
my friend used to say that when we used to hang out in South Beach. He'd say, well, at least somebody likes me. Somebody's hitting on you. Yeah.
It's almost like sometimes you feel invisible. Have you ever noticed that? Like if you're walking through Target or something and you think, wow, she's really cute, and she never even glances at you as she walks by. It's like before you'd at least get a how you do it,
Is that where
Or
you're
a double
puss hunting
take.
lately? Target.
He's going to Target.
Yeah, I'm scoping out
Target.
I'm scoping out Target. I hang around smaller sizes in the women's section.
Gotta bump it up to Chili's or something.
Well,
That's
I
where he
am
goes
going
after.
to Red Lobster on Friday, so
There you go. Oh yeah,
there's
just
a good chance.
Let's hear about this, because you had mentioned this on social media that you're impressed. You used to like going to Red Lobster, and let's face it, when I was in high school, that was the place to take your date when you were serious, right? Like you really liked the girl, you took her to Red Lobster because you thought,
and especially in the high school days, because it was a little higher up the financial thing. So
yeah,
if you took a girl to Red Lobster, you pulled out her chair and sat down. I mean, it was like going to Spago for a teenager,
That's where you went on payday.
Right.
yeah, right after getting paid.
So I've been seeing. I've been on social media. I've been seeing these new commercials for Red Lobster because they're kind of like trying to reinvent themselves, and it looks pretty good. So I do a thing called trying stuff on my video channels, and I talked to a friend of mine who's a singer songwriter here in town, and she said I'll go with you. Let's go do a trying thing. So we're going to go down and give Red Lobster a shot to see if they've improved.
Yeah,
That's a write-off too. It's a business expense.
Oh, I didn't even think
See?
about that.
So,
Well, what's the definition of a write-off? I mean, listen, unless you're going there with, your spouse or somebody, which none of us have, then it's a write-off. It's always a business meeting. Even if you're trying to get
sure.
laid, you mean business. It's part of your
Well,
business as
that's
a
true.
man.
Well,
Yeah.
I always say if I go out to dinner, I go, hey, I've got an idea for a joke. Okay, business meeting.
Oh
That's
yeah.
it.
Well, listen, every time I go on a comedy gig, I say I talk to the club owner about their 401k plan. So all the
There you
travel
go.
is expensed. You know, I mentioned the S&P 500 on stage. It's an official business deal.
As they leave a rail for you in the bathroom. Hey, how's your financial planning? And then that's it.
Yeah. Boy, that's something I've turned down. Whew, I don't know why. We're in a day and age. I don't know how
Yeah,
anybody
you
could do cocaine anymore,
can, ooh, heavy on the
right?
fentanyl. I'm on a no fentanyl diet.
Well,
Till my kid is 8.
a no fentanyl diet is that like a no a no uh, no carb kind of thing or a no
No gluten,
gluten?
no fentanyl,
No gluten.
no pudding.
Is this
I don't
cocaine
want any
fentanyl free?
fentanyl in my stuff.
I only want cocaine if it's fentanyl free. Okay, like that
Well,
pizza, no
that's if I
gluten.
was I'd be scared in this day and age. In the old days, you didn't even think about walking into a stall. Want some of this? Okay, but I
Yeah,
would not do that in any way, shape, or form.
well, that's
No,
what I'm
I miss
saying.
the
When I was
old days
down there, go
when they
ahead,
put
Brian.
baby powder instead of the fentanyl. That's what I like. I just want to shit all night.
Exactly, and
I want
lose
to die.
weight.
Exactly. You know, I mean, when I was in Florida, that happened a couple times. I'm like, some guy was there, had to, like, why don't you do it first? Let me wait 20 minutes after you do the first bump, and I'll see if I want any. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like,
Wait, if you start flopping around, I'm going to pass.
yeah, that's okay. I'll go smoke a
Yeah,
joint instead.
I
I
think
just want to
side
be rich
splitters
enough to have
last.
my. I want to be rich enough to have my own drug tester.
Yeah,
Here, do this for me. Oh, you're flopping. Not doing it. Mm-mm.
Yeah. You're on your 5th tester, you know it's a problem.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
The fentanyl issue is a real problem. Why is that? I've lost 3 drug testers already. Jake tested my cocaine. It's hard to find these people. Uh, it's like the old days when you're a king, right? You had your food taster. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I used
royal
to think
food taster.
about in the old days with the rock stars that would get busted for drugs. Like Paul McCartney or somebody, or one of those guys and you're like, you're so rich, hire somebody to be your mule. You know,
Yeah,
never
yeah,
carry it yourself.
yeah.
Your Coke valet.
I flew back with some, but they were edibles. I wasn't worried about edibles, so that
Mm.
wasn't too bad, you know. So Steve, have you gone on a date? Have you been on a date since the big D? Have you
I no, no,
no?
I have not. I haven't even wanted to. Uh, I've thought about it, but there's so much weirdness, freaks. I don't want to even start over. You know what I mean? I don't want to be some. Don't want to meet somebody I like and then have them say some stupid shit and go, "Fuck, I'm out of here." You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of hung out with
How do you find
somebody
a woman who
recently.
does it? Is that a
What's
thing?
that? What's that,
You,
Brian? One
you,
more
you can
time.
you can find a woman that doesn't say stupid shit.
Well,
Well,
I'm off a divorce and a breakup, brother. I'm right there with you. I'd like to tell
Well,
you it gets better.
here's the deal. I was thinking about this the other day because I was doing a show on one of the ships and somebody talked about they were married 60 years and I go, "You know why? Because you got married 60 years ago. That doesn't
yeah,
happen anymore because there's too much to fight about now. There's too much to argue about. There's too many little idiosyncrasies that people have. It's not like when there was 3 TV channels and 2 radio stations. And do you want to go have a picnic by the lake?
yeah. There's about the same difference. Like if you worked in IT 30 years ago and you came back to work after 30 years and now you had to fit into the new IT, you wouldn't fit in. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
like I was telling Brian before the show, I haven't worn a condom in 30 years. my dick. I'm going to try to put a condom on. My dick's going to be like, what the fuck? I'm not wearing that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's going to be like
trying to like putting a sweater on a cat.
exactly. It's
No,
like wearing
no, 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 no.
it's like wearing ankle weights at the beach. It's just not going to
We're
happen.
all gonna die soon anyway. Just raw dog it. Who cares?
I
That's
agree. I totally agree.
There's not much
yeah.
time left. The Euphrates River dried up. We're done. I better read the Bible. I've never read it. I think I've heard that you can get it on tape. Then James Earl Jones reads the Bible. I think I'm going to do that while I'm driving around.
yeah.
That's the King James Earl Jones.
King James Earl Jones.
even does some Darth Vader quotes in the middle of it.
Oh man.
I am your father, Jesus.
Yeah. In the name of the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Jedi. Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. Like you said, I don't know. I mean, I have so many deal breakers. You know, that was one of the things I was going to ask you guys. Like, do I have that on here? If you have a deal, I probably one of my previous shows, but why not? Do you have a deal breaker? Like me, like I'll start. Like I have one deal breaker, which is like the women that wear the earring in their nose, where they look like cattle. That's a deal breaker. Like
right
I don't know
I
what
have
woman.
I have one deal breaker. It's like if they have a cock, I'm not into it. I'm just like that's it. There's no second date.
But what if their
Call me
boobs are
old
bigger?
fashioned, but I
What
prefer
if
a
their
vagina.
boobs stick out bigger than their cock?
Not a boob guy.
Okay.
No, especially not a boob and cock guy. Those are two combinations. I think that's the
You're
new
not big
dinner
and
at Red Lobster, boob and cocks at Red Lobster.
Well, as long as I can dip it in butter, I don't care.
Butter helps everything.
Cracker.
Well,
Give me
I
a
posted
cracker.
the other day on social media about what is an immediate red flag for dating, and that was one of the biggest responses that I've ever had. I mean, like there was hundreds of people just because I think everybody now is just worried about relationships. Like if you don't fit like that, people don't want to do it.
Well, that's the weird thing, isn't it? I mean, you eventually grow to find out what you'll tolerate, right? It's like I don't talk to anybody in my wife's family. I'm going to probably go out on Facebook after a while, and maybe another month or two, because a lot of people are asking me about it. But I don't even talk to anybody. You know, I don't talk to any of the family. You know, and yeah, it's like, you know, you what do you, I mean, it's I don't I don't I don't want to, I don't know if I want to meet family again. You know, that's another thing. You have to meet family at this age. You know,
Yeah,
I mean. But at least it should be impressive, though, you know. And not like when I was 20s. Why should my daughter date you? Well, I got a job, I got a new car, you know.
yeah.
Now it's like, why should my daughter date you? I got 20,000 shares of Amazon. Marry this fucker, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, especially if we're talking about at our age, you're going to be meeting a dad that's almost your own age. Why should my
I
daughter
just want a
marry
dad
you?
that I
Because she's
dad that I
younger.
graduated high school.
yeah.
Every girl I meet, I ask, "How old were you in 2002?"
Do you
And if
really?
they saw me on television, they were like between 5 and 9 years old at that time. Then they're there for me. That's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
It's natural to go out with somebody younger. You know what I mean? It's like I actually have a friend too. I met this girl, and recently I think she's like 10 or 15 years younger than me. There's a little interest there, and I would actually consider having children. God forbid, you know, at this stage. You know, I know it's horrible. I somebody would have to talk. Listen, if I ever say that to you guys, talk me the fuck out of it, please. Okay, make sure you say, Dougie, what are you thinking? You know, you're
Well,
gonna age like a president.
I've, I've thought about it not having kids, but I would probably definitely be okay with someone that had kids, younger kids,
Oh,
because
really?
another one of those flags for me is I don't want to deal with somebody with a whole lot of other family. You know what I mean? Like she's already got grown kids and there's grandkids, and then who do you got to spend Christmases with, and what holidays, and do you want to go out Friday night? I can't. I'm supposed to go over to my daughter's house for
Yeah.
there's too much of that too.
Wow.
I would have another kid, but I would do it Tony Randall style when I'm like 79 or 80.
Yeah.
Then she could change both of our.
Yeah, then you can get diapers in bulk at Costco.
2 for 1.
No.
Well, I have a buddy of mine, David Zasloff. He's a comic here, and he's married. He's 70 something, and he has a 9-year-old daughter. And it's funny
Oh
because he has a
wow.
joke. He's like, I'm actually more age appropriate for my mother-in-law, but if I was to date her, all I'd be thinking about is fucking her daughter. Um, you know, I mean, that's why I was thinking about it because it was funny. We were on a road trip and I was going to a gig and I said, man, I don't know if I should date him. He goes, you realize who you're talking to? My wife's like 20 years younger than me, dude. I'm like, man, 20 years younger than me would be 35, 36. That's perfect.
Well, that's what my
All right.
ex-wife was 25 years younger than me, but it was like simpatico. I mean, it was like I'm a child and she was an older soul, and that's
Mm.
sort of what I look for in relationships because all three of us we're not our age. We don't think that way. We don't act that way. I would have trouble dealing with somebody that just wants to go, boy, my back was killing me this morning when I woke up. I think I'm going to
Yeah.
call the doctor to find out why my elbow's been hurting.
What's these dry
I want to
patches
find.
on my skin?
I want to find a woman who's
Yeah.
tolerant.
You're what?
Extremely. I want to find a woman who's extremely tolerant.
Of your bad
It's a-
habits or just everything in general?
I just don't want to try that hard anymore. I don't want to date. I just hold an audition. I was on
Like
television.
Tom Cruise
I
did.
don't want to go on dates. Just send in a headshot and a resume, an updated size card. Don't embarrass yourself.
Well, listen, on these dating
So-
sites, what happened, these dating sites, they're like, so what do you like? What are you looking for in a relationship? I'm like, what kind of fucking question? Like, listen, when I was 18, I might answer that question, but I'm not going to, what are you looking for in a relationship? Happiness? Like you said, tolerance, patience, all this kind of shit. I don't want somebody, like you said, I don't want somebody that gets mad at everything. That's a deal breaker too. That somebody is always complaining about shit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this
Oh,
fucking
the bitch
waitress.
I work with.
Ugh, just don't, it's just bullshit.
Have you
Uh,
watched some of the old? You can find them on YouTube. Some of the old video dating clips where people used to do the video dating. They're like, "Hi, I'm Bob. I'm 23 years old. I have a computer installer. My joys in life." Have you watched any of those? They're hysterical.
They really they're auditioning online, as Brian said.
Yeah,
They're almost like
yeah,
auditioning.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking
The
hilarious.
robots are getting better and better, though. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
fleshlight,
it.
you
Some of
mean?
them are. Some of them are running our country. They're getting that good. They are very lifelike. See, I can joke with you guys. We're all
Oh
in the
my
same
god, I
human.
can't believe it.
You guys are
I
rubbing off on me.
I gotta say, because I love Brian. I think you're one of the best. But
Same
he
here,
is
buddy.
actually reason I get along, and there's a couple other people. He's a good liberal. He's one. He's like
He's
a.
one of the good
He's
ones.
like a. He's like a smart liberal. There's a difference between being a liberal and a far left lunatic. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There aren't many of us left.
Well, even
Exactly.
did you point it out on Facebook, Steve? But even CNN is now pointing out, some of the issues with our current
Yeah.
president, which is
Yeah.
amazing to see that organization do it.
Yeah.
Um,
CNN the other day was like they made the comment about Trump being right about Joe Biden's bribery,
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, his son stuff. Now that there's some things, and since we're on the subject, I was going to ask you guys. They had the video when he went to Maui, right? And we're going to talk one of the questions there. But somebody posted on Twitter, one of those left lunatics was like, they took it out of context. He wasn't asleep. He was fucking asleep. He looked
He
he
was
looked like
asleep.
he looked like the fucking old man on Phantasm. Remember the movie Phantasm? When the fucking
Yeah.
ball went flying, he looked like that guy. Like every time I see him, he looks like the old fucking man. You know, and he was like, he's fucking sleeping, and then you guys just lost 500 people. Everybody lost their kids and their land. I had a house fire in my kitchen once, almost lost my cat. You fucking
Yeah.
douchebag. You know,
I
people are
like my
like,
favorite was when he goes, "Ooh, the ground's hot."
Almost like it
What's
was
happened?
burning a few days ago.
What have you guys been through in the last couple of weeks? This is fucking hot.
What did I miss?
Why does it smell like wood burning? Um, oh, fucking unbelievable.
I saw a clip
All
of him
right.
just the other day. He was saying that it's very, very important as we enter hurricane season that if you're in those areas that you get vaccinated.
Yeah.
To
Nothing,
prepare for the hurricane. Come
nothing
on,
more
man.
important.
And
Forget about the
anybody that's
sandbags.
vaccinated cannot be hit by a hurricane.
That's right. That's what the WHO says. If you get vaccinated, was that a Category 4 hurricane will not blow your house down. It's safe.
You know who I've got to feel sorry for now is the people that were like, hey, come get vaccinated and get a free box of donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. How about a chance to get some blood clots for a cream field?
Yeah. Well, wasn't it De Blasio who was on TV in New York when he was mayor? He's like, "Oh, fries. You
Yeah.
get vaccination with you get free fries. Who wouldn't want to eat fries?" Yeah. Yeah.
Free
Well,
trans
that'll
fats.
help. That'll help the fucking heart attack come a little faster. Yeah, that's unbelievable, right? All right, let's get into the "Let Me Ask You" segment because I got some questions here for you fellas. Let's do that. Let's start with this one. We're in comedy. What was your most memorable bombing moment, if you have, Bob, Mr. McGrew?
My most memorable was in London, England, at Jongleurs Comedy Club in Camden. 2-show night. First show, I got a standing ovation. Second show, I was literally booed off stage. Booed off stage. And my manager goes, hey, it's not that they didn't like you. They didn't even give you a chance. Because as soon as they
Yeah.
heard I was an American, it was like,
Oh no.
boo, boo. But that was
Yank
the
the
worst,
yank.
absolutely worst.
Then did you go through your whole set? I mean, got booed through your whole set, or did you cut it
Yeah,
short?
yeah, because I wanted to get paid.
Yeah. Okay. Brian.
I started doing stand up when I was 20 years old at a bar. I started out emceeing and I got paid immediately and they let me drink for free. And I thought, well, I found my calling. The guys that were booking that show, I had been on stage, I think, 7 times total. They booked me to work a club in Rochester. I believe it was called Scorgies at the time. And they booked me to feature. I had to do 25 minutes. So the first night, all my friends from college, I was going to school at RIT, they came and saw me. And I just killed because I did what I did to make them laugh. The Late Show, I don't think I got a laugh the entire night. I mean, as Letterman said, I may as well have been drapes. And that stayed with me for at least 15 years. Every time I went on stage, I thought about that night until then it just became completely dead inside and then I didn't give a fuck anymore. But that was the worst experience I'd ever had. And to have had that little experience not knowing how to handle it, I just had to plow through.
Yeah. What do you do? Like, first of all, when it happens, time is just standing still, right? I mean, like a half hour takes like 3 days when you're up there when that's going on, and you start to
Oh,
sweat, and it's just like you're searching. Like, I hope they like this one. I hope they like this one. And every
your
joke you
brain
tell they
just starts
don't like.
doing that thing.
It shuffles, right? You start shuffling. Maybe this is a joke I should tell, and then you start telling it like you're on the Gong Show, waiting to get fucking, Chuck Barris to come out and pull you off stage. But was that his name? The guy who ran was it Chuck Barris?
Yeah,
Who's the guy who ran?
yeah.
Yeah.
Barrett.
Okay.
What about you, Dougie? What's your bomb story?
I was at the Stardom in Montgomery, Alabama. It was the Tuesday through Thursday shows, and they had a local MC who he was killing. The MC was killing because he was doing Sinbad jokes, Chris Rock jokes. He was going through the plethora of local jokes. And then I get up, and it was an all black audience, and it was a Tuesday through Thursday, which is papered room night. It wasn't the weekend show, so they paper it Tuesday through Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I was just like, I was smattering of laughs here and there, barely, and I was like, maybe they'll like this one. And then, of course, at the time when I told my my dick joke, interracial joke, whatever, it's an anti-racist joke, but you might as well have thought I told them, kill Blackie. You would think I said that in the middle of the room, and the crowd. I mean, so I get a call from the owner, Bruce, right? He met a guy at clubs. He's like, "Hey, that was rough, huh?" He goes, "Me, I can have you MC tomorrow if you want." I'm like, "No, I'll fucking get it. I'll reestablish." And I went back the next night. I did all right. I even sold shirts. That's weird when you sell merch and you don't do well, and they still sell merch. And I was like, and then of course, Comedy Zone called me like, "Look, man, we're going to pay you for all 3 nights, but you got to get out of the hotel and you got to get the fuck out because you're not coming back on Thursday night." So that was like a really bad moment because I was like, "Oh, I'm fucked." It took so long to get into the zone, to work for these people, and now I'm going to
Yeah.
get kicked out. And they're like, "No, we're good. That's just a rough room. Don't we're okay with it." So yeah, that was probably the
Well,
most memorable one.
they bought that T-shirt because they needed something to make a doll out of to burn in effigy.
Like a voodoo doll. Now we just need a pudgy Italian looking doll to put the shirt on. And fucking for ruining our 45 minutes of our life. Oh, that's funny. All right, here's a question for you. Are you guys surprised that the fake meat trend failed? Beyond Beef or Beyond Meat and all these things that are, plant based. Are you
Oh,
surprised
when I
that the
saw that headline, I thought you were talking about like strap-ons.
fake meat? Have you ever put a strap on a woman? Have you guys ever put a strap on a woman?
On a
You mean fake
woman
meat?
or to a woman?
No, I meant on one. Like I had a girlfriend that liked girls, so obviously, I wanted to have a strap on, watch her bang the girl, like I was cuckling or something like that. But yeah, I never had any kids, but it must be the same feeling when you put a tie on your son for the first time, like now they're a man and everything. Like she had an attitude. She says, "Make me a sandwich, fat boy," you know. Um, and her job called. She got a 30% raise the minute she put her dick on. She got a 30% raise from her employer. But you ever have one of those moments?
No,
Awkward sexual moment? No? Okay.
no,
She didn't stick it in
No.
my ass, guys. I'm just,
no. The only awkward sexual moment I've ever had is when you have to go, that has never happened before.
Uh,
Yeah.
all I know is that at this age, I've learned that ass play is a young man's game. Eat
Oh,
all
it
the
is?
Yeah.
ass you want. You don't eat a 52-year-old man with a questionable diet's ass. I'm sorry. It's Area 51 at this point. Stay the hell away.
So,
Don't
so
even try
you're
and get it.
you're avoiding the butt stuff now.
I'm done. No more butt stuff. I had a good time in my 20s and it's over. It's like MySpace. It was fun while it lasted and now it's gone. It's
Yeah.
not coming back.
My ass is no longer your
Sorry, Tom.
space.
Sorry, Tom.
I thought you had a VIP membership to the Star Lounge.
Not anymore. That's expired. Everything is expired.
the,
It's gone
the
bad.
puck
Hey, smell
the
this. I
pucker
think it's bad.
the pucker up palace. Um yeah, what are you gonna do? All right, here's the next question. Who do you think started the fires in Maui? There's a lot of controversy. Whoopi Gold, Oprah Winfrey, and a lot of people. It's a land grab, and they thought maybe they were trying to get people to sell that land, and then all of a sudden, who do you think? Do you think it was a nature, lightning? Who do you think it was?
Oprah
Oprah
was out
Winfrey out
there
there?
with a Zippo. There's footage with her with a Zippo. Oprah, what are you doing? Look, I think that your girl Marjorie Taylor Greene might have been actually right. I don't know if they're Jewish space lasers, but I don't know. Why didn't anything blue burn, fellas? I'm in. Let's
Isn't
go.
that
Let's
isn't
talk
that
about it.
weird? Isn't it
Nothing
weird
blue
how
burned.
it looks like something just like a laser cut around some houses and
Yeah.
hotels.
Oh, Gaga's is fine. I got to plug my computer in. Hold on. I'm losing
Well,
juice.
I heard it was Oprah and corduroy pants that actually sparked
Yeah,
the fire.
she was jogging in a pair of Levi corduroys. You get a fire. You get a fire. You get a fire.
You get a spark.
You get a spark. Oh, yeah, because somebody had a video of some laser thing hitting it. Like I can't believe how quick people like put shit together. But it was like a laser hitting the Maui coast.
Well, let's talk about the guy, the police chief that's in charge was the same guy that was in charge of the Las Vegas Strip during that the mass shooting. So
That's never been solved.
hey, if you don't want conspiracy theorists spouting conspiracies, then stop being so goddamn conspiratorial with every fucking thing you're doing, because this
Right.
shit doesn't
Everything.
add up. It doesn't add up.
Well, there's more to
You
that
tell me,
conspiracy.
you talk about the fake meat. Well, why are all these chicken plants catching on fire? Why is and Bill Gates is the one with the patent to make the fake meat? Why are 500,000 chickens lighting on fire? There's barbecues going all over the country right now,
Yeah,
and nobody's
yeah.
talking about it.
Nobody's talking
Explain it.
about that, really. Yeah, because
And when you
Bill Gates wanted us to eat 3D printed steaks. Well, he could eat a 3D printed dick.
Yeah, exactly. Klaus Schwab wants us to eat crickets.
yeah, it's
When do
turning
we
around.
take this guy out?
Well, you know what?
But
What I can't believe is there's people that fall for that shit. I mean, this is America. We don't eat bugs. We're not tribal. We're not some kind of nomadic, you know, Himalayan hill people or something. We're not. We don't do that
yeah,
here. And you hear people go, well, people eat bugs all around the world. Not fucking here.
that's right. Listen, we still use lighters. We're not going to use a fucking flint and stick. Every time we go to light our fucking cigarette or something. Hold on, let me use this flint and stone. Yeah, you're right, absolutely. And there's more. There was more, right? The guy, who's the guy? The guy who wrote the song, not in a small town. He was performing at that Vegas thing, right? And he had supposedly a tattoo. I saw this on Sam Tripoli's fucking post, who's a conspiracy guy. I love Sam Tripoli,
Yeah.
but he has a tattoo of the ace, jack, whatever it is, and the same thing
Yeah.
that was part. Like, it's amazing when you find these coincidences, of how things are running.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
Jason
you
Aldean.
clips of The Simpsons. What's his name? Valvoline.
Jason
Aldean.
Aldean.
All these clips from The Simpsons. The Simpsons predictions. It's unbelievable. That's all my feed is on Instagram. It's all conspiracy stuff, and I don't know if it's just clouding my brain or clearing it, because shit don't seem right.
But it's no longer conspiracy. It's more like just wait till you hear the truth about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that it's like, listen, even to this day, and it's past and this and that, but like when people bring up the election in 2020, I'm like, 96% of most crimes in this country are committed and aren't solved because of lack of evidence. So just because there isn't evidence doesn't mean there wasn't a crime, and that's why it's like it should, if any, the world, our country's leaders should realize whatever, no matter how you think about it, there's still half the country that's pissed because it seemed fucked up. They're
Well,
losing
well,
it.
what everybody's got, everybody could is there's no equality in justice anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're going after Trump now for the documents he supposedly had. Well, so did Joe Biden. So did Hillary. I mean, you're just going after certain things instead of just laying it out across the line. Like that's all illegal.
And they're not even hiding it. Like, you're going to have the guy who put a special counsel now that was running the investigation that was a sham in the first place. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's like taking the captain of the fucking Titanic, right? And then, like, oh, we got a new boat. Let's get that guy. Fucking wait a minute. Why don't we find somebody different that might have a different outcome? Yeah, that's see, and that everybody. Listen, if I've seen a transition between my liberal friends, is that there's this aspect of it, like the DOJ, the FBI, the IRS. It's just like,
Because that's going to come after
like,
everybody.
like now the thing they're talking about, like PayPal, like the readers and the PayPals, the squares, and all that things. Like, if you sell merch as a comic, you use that. People, if you buy somebody dinner or lunch, they say, oh, they pay you on PayPal. But the left side, they wanted to have like $600. If you have $600 a year in transactions, the IRS should be able to pull your PayPal account. $600. You know,
Yeah.
Now they're trying to change it to 25,000 because that's a realistic number. If you have more than $25,000 in transactions on your PayPal account or your Square, then yeah, you're probably using it for business. You probably have to look at that aspect of
Well,
it, right?
you got to remember though, and I've thought about this. Is a lot of the people that are after that, like $600 is a lot of money for somebody that doesn't care about anything but smoking dope and playing a video game with 6 roommates. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's where they don't really want people to succeed. They want them all at a certain level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they seem to be working pretty good on us. If you could see any band from the past perform one more time, who would it be, Brian?
Well, I'm going to go with a band that I did not get to see in their prime. I would go with my favorite band, The Doors. I've always been obsessed with Jim Morrison. I got to see Krieger and Manzarek years back when they were the Doors of the 3000 or something, and I do believe it was John Bonham's son and Ian Astbury who was the lead singer. And it gave you a little bit of an inkling of what it might have been like to actually see the Doors back then. And I still can't get over how amazing Astbury was. He was so respectful and reverent. And when he wasn't singing, he was off to the side, put all the focus. And then little by little, it got dark, it got weird, just like it used to get at those Doors shows. And then there were people running on stage. And then by the end, Astbury was just fucking channeling him. It was incredible. He was being held up by about 50 people. Bring on Drew! It was really amazing. So that's, if I could go back in time, I'd probably go see him. And you say band, but you know, it would be cool to see Jimi Hendrix live as well.
Oh, fuck.
I'm a classic rock guy.
Steve?
I would have to say I would like to see Dunkleman live.
Dunkleman.
I've never seen
Donkey and Public Okie. I'm going to make it a thing. I don't give a shit if nobody likes my videos. I've posted 300, and I'm going to post 300 more. I'm going out. I'm going into the rapture singing. God damn it.
Have you
Nobody
watched
pay me to do
his
stand up.
Have you watched his videos, Doug?
I never even heard of Doki Oki.
Donkey Okie.
Dunkle Oki? Oh, him. This
Dunkle
guy.
Me, right here. Dougie, when the
gonna
pandemic hit, here's the thing. It's not look, my mom died during the pandemic. She was 91. She didn't get sick. She wins. But I could not get on stage to process it. I would have normally grieved on stage. There were no stages. So I started getting drunk and singing karaoke in my living room. And then I thought, I need to record these and I need to share these with the world. And by the world, I mean, you know, like 5 people on Facebook and Instagram. And I never stopped. It got to the point where I don't even want to do stand-up anymore. I just want to sing. And I've posted over 300 of them. And I'm going to, you know who Cookie Jar is?
Yeah. Cookie
My
Jar and the
career
Crumbs.
trajectory is looking more and more Cookie Jar. And you know what? I'm fucking fine with that. I'm going to end up in Vegas with a sound machine and I'm going to sing.
These are the videos where you're in the light with the glasses and the hat. Those are fucking...
I did a lot of them where I just had the Tragically Hip. I've done about 25. I'm just going to keep peppering them until they decide that I need to be their new lead singer. And if not, I'm just having a good time. But I used to just put the camera on YouTube and so the lyrics and then just get hammered. And then I started trying, and now I go to the local bar and go to... I sang 6. Everybody was worried about the hurricane. I went to Dave's with an umbrella, sang 6 songs. Bring on more natural disasters if Donkey gets more songs in public. That's why it's called Donkey Okie in Public Okie. But subliminally, if you read that, it looks like Coke. So anybody who used to do blow back in the day is going to be triggered. They're going to come see me. They're going to become addicted, and that's how I get my following. That's how I see it.
It's a good plan.
Right?
Me, of course, Led Zeppelin would be the band I'd want to see live.
Good
if I
choice.
could.
They only
Okay,
had like 4 good songs.
What?
Stairway to
What?
Heaven, Kashmir, Black Dog, and one other one. I mean, that name something else.
Ronyar Stomp is my favorite.
Rock and roll. Ain't a long time since I rock and roll.
Holy.
Okay, there's the 4th one.
Thank you. You know, if the sun refused to shine, I would
you're
still
doing
be
deep cut
loving
now.
you. Oh yeah, there's a lot more than that. While we're on music, let me ask you: Michael Jackson or Prince?
I'll take
Who would
that
I
one.
sleep
That's
with?
Prince.
Who would you blow? Who would you blow? Michael Jackson or Prince? Steve, go ahead.
Now? Right now?
Yeah, now. Yeah.
Actually,
I
I'd
said
have
Prince. Absolutely Prince. I'm sorry, but Michael Jackson, fucking kids is one thing, but you don't fuck Paul McCartney. Fuck Michael Jackson. He outbid Paul McCartney for the catalog to the Beatles, and then he sold Revolution to Nike. Fuck that
But
guy.
at least
Prince
Michael
all the
Jackson would go hee hee, and you know he liked it.
way. Here's the joke I did the night after he died. I went on stage. I'm like, I still can't believe the king of pop is 6 feet under. They didn't like it. They didn't like
Too
it.
soon? Too soon? Is it too soon? Okay, great.
Oh.
I like Prince. Prince was my man. I actually dressed like him and sang in a band called Sightless Cry when I was younger, and I was the lead
You
singer.
it's
So
dre-
yeah,
great.
you dress like Prince?
yeah, I had a blue trench coat and I had pants, and I put those buttons. My mom sewed the buttons on the side of the pants, and I wore these white high heel fucking these shoes, these fucking dress shoes and shit. Oh yeah, got a lot of pussy back then. I mean, maybe that's what I need to do now that I'm single. Wear my Prince outfit again. Maybe the chicks will
There
like
you
that.
That
go.
wig, purple jacket.
Go around with the fucking fruffly, pirate shirt.
Yeah, but
Oh,
at
so
your
they
age,
do.
you'd be purple vein, purple vein.
I never wanted to come so fast before you. Um,
Of their new
this
album,
never
Dirty
right?
happened
diaper
to me before.
Anna.
Yeah. Where are my teeth? Um, all right. Here's a great one. What bad habits of others pisses you off the most? Brian
I'll say
started
two
off
things
again.
right off the top of my head. Anybody who listens or watches anything in public without earbuds should be fucking pummeled. I don't care how old you are. I've seen every age, doesn't matter. I'm done with it. And any asshole that decides, all right, three things. Any asshole on an airplane that thinks that he needs to get off before I do, that's not the way the society works. And when I'm going onto the freeway and you're behind me and you think that you need to pass me to merge first, I'm telling you, I'm just going to Duke Boys just jam it. I'm just going to jam my car right into him from now on. I've had it. Those are the
You're
three
gonna be
things.
like that fried green tomato. I'm older. I've got insurance.
I got better
That's
insurance.
it. I got better insurance and I don't fear death.
I agree with
My
that.
my biggest right now, and I actually started talking about it. Is nobody has the manners of saying "excuse me" anymore at all. If they bump into you, walk in front of you, anything. Nobody says "excuse me." To me, that was the biggest thing I was taught as a person. Excuse me.
Yeah. Oh,
Go
my
ahead.
bad.
Or I'm sorry, I didn't see you standing there. Don't
Oh
just
yeah.
bump into me and act like you deserve it to keep going,
Well,
And little
both of the
kids
Entitlement.
things.
are the worst about it now.
Both of the things you mentioned happened to me when I was flying to Florida. I was sitting in the Greenville airport, and this lady, Spanish lady, was on speakerphone sitting next to me, talking in Spanish. No me digas hombre, back and forth, and there's people like all busy sitting in the gate, and I'm like looking at the lady, like, what the fuck, And she's her whole conversation about this guy she was dating, and she left him, and this and that. So what I did was I took my phone and I put Thunderstruck on my phone, ACDC's Thunderstruck, without my ear pods, and I put it on loud. And I just put it on my lap right next to her, like, and everybody started fucking laughing across from me, and like fucking. And then eventually she got the hint. She walked away or something. And like you said, the people that fuck. I got a connection. What do you bitch? I got a connection too. Just get the fuck back there. You know what I mean? Like they get their shit down and they try to inch their way up on the plane, right? To get off the fucking plane a little faster.
Yeah.
And these are the same people that when they get off the plane, they're standing there at the fucking pretzel place, trying to get a fucking pretzel and Annie Mary's or whatever the fuck it is. Like you were rushing the fuck off the plane. Now you're getting a pretzel, you bitch.
Have
Yeah,
you
I
have
agree
you
with that.
ever have you ever been late for a connection? I mean, knew you were late and you should just be running, but you have to think in your mind, I really have to pee. I have to pee. So do I
Yeah.
stop to pee and possibly miss my plane, or do I just piss in my pants and run?
Well, that's hard to do, isn't it?
No.
It's not for you. I'd have a hard time pissing and running. That happened to me recently. I had to make it to a catch. American Airlines always does that to me. They always connect you, and they're running late or something. She got 5 minutes to go through two terminals, to get somewhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll run. I'll make my way to as close as I possibly can, and then find a bathroom, and then try to piss and catch it. I agree. My things are people that suck their teeth and make a lot of noise. Like I've recently been around people that when they talk, they're like, bah, 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 bah. I mean, Biden does that, by the way. I've never noticed with his Parkinson's. He has that, or with his dementia. He's like, I'm like, drives me fucking crazy. My wife had a friend that snorts, like not like when she laughs, like I mean every 20, 30 seconds. Like, hey, this is a good movie. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? You
Oh,
know, I mean, dude, it drives me crazy. I'd rather I wrote a joke. I'm like, she comes over and then she has another friend that comes and brings her kid and he'll run around the house and shit on the floor. He's okay. Okay. I could deal with the kid shitting on the floor, but the snorting's got to fucking stop right
Got to
off the
go.
bat. Got to go. All right. If you were king for a day, what would you do to these shoplifters? All the shoplifting going on. Dick's Sporting Goods just recently reported that their sales, that company was just going nuts, and they too much loss. Target, where like Steve goes to meet women, they had an issue there with theft. If you could, what would you do to shoplifters?
I would do exactly what got me kicked off of Twitter for 24 hours was shoot the first one that runs out the door, and the rest of them will set that shit down.
You think might set a precedent?
a shoplifter space laser. Look, I have a soft spot for shoplifters. I was arrested for shoplifting when I was 14 years old. Shoplifting what, you ask? Condoms.
Oh,
Good news is I was getting laid when I was a freshman. The bad news is I stole from Rite Aid. They took me to jail. My mother picked me up and they put it in the paper. They could not use my name because I was a minor, but 14-year-old Ellicottville youth arrested for shoplifting condoms at Salamanca Rite Aid. Everybody found out, and I went through the rest of high school with the nickname Rubber Man.
Oh.
So
Oh.
just
Rubber
shoot one
Man.
of them. Just
What
shoot
happened?
one of them. Oh, Steve's gone.
We
Steve
lost
said I
Steve.
can't take it.
Steve said, I
Yeah.
got to go get a fucking condom.
I thought for
All
sure
right,
my
Ben,
internet would go out first. Oh, there he
there
is.
we go. There he is.
I don't know what happened.
your camera went and got a condom. Or put the condom over the
I'm
camera.
practicing safe YouTubing or whatever we're doing.
Yeah, safe. What is this called? Streaming. Oh
You're
God.
streaming
Yeah, I think
dance.
I didn't want to get my stream on your face.
I was control. I think that's a good idea. Like like they do in the Islamic countries. Somebody shoplifts, cut their hand off. Just an eye for an eye, cut their hands off. They're shoplifting, cut a foot off, cut a fucking hand off. They steal again, or each finger, like the mafia. All right, you stole how much? You stole the pair of Nikes. All right, well, let's take your thumb. Not my thumb. Where's that in fucking the Pope of Greenwich Village? They took my thumb.
It took my
They
fucking
took
thumb.
my
Hey,
thumb.
the only movie I've ever done was with Eric Roberts, and we had a scene where we were going to in a hotel, and the manager of the hotel had a plum, or Eric was eating a plum. The director talked him into doing this. He's eating the plum, and the guy just takes it and he throws it in the garbage. And Eric Roberts looks at me. He's like, "You took my plum. You took my plum, Charlie." I'm like,
You took my plum, Charlie.
He took my
I'll be
You
right
can't
back.
fucking leave that in. I didn't
That's
do
fucking-
nothing to nobody, Charlie.
Did that stay in the movie?
No, he's like, you cannot
Oh,
use that.
the-
He's like, I let
Oh
you do
my
the shop.
God.
He's like, no.
That was fucking hilarious.
Great guy, Eric Roberts. By the way, I love that guy.
He was in that. He was one of my favorite martial arts movies, The Best of the Best. If you ever seen that movie, he's like a taekwondo. Look up Eric Roberts, Best of the Best. Sean Penn's older brother was in it, who passed. And there's a guy in there who's a Hapkido master, which is a study Korean jiu-jitsu, basically. And the choreography of the fight scenes in that thing with the Hapkido, the circular, the flips, the turns. Got to watch The Best of the Best. Great show. What did Steve have to take a shit or something? He's eating all that red lobster. Now he's getting the fucking rumbles. He's eating all them biscuits.
Oh, no.
I'm back.
Pissing in his
Cat
jeans
trouble.
again. There you go. Oh,
Cat trouble.
Yeah.
You having trouble with
I
your
had my
pussy?
cats in the basement, and I can hear them scratching at the door, and I don't need paint being ruined.
Yeah, that's the last thing. All right. Were you guys happy or sad when the United States women's national soccer team lost in the World Cup and were eliminated? Megan Rapinoe, by the way, who's had eye work. I don't know if you ever noticed that. She used to have eyes that went like this. Now she's got these round eyes that, which is interesting. I'm probably the only person on earth who noticed that. But she missed a
didn't.
penalty kick, which is a 99% chance of scoring a penalty kick. She fucking over the top. But the American public does not like the U.S. women's national team because of all the politics and all the shit they brought to that fucking team. Happy or sad or don't give a shit?
Don't give a shit. I actually didn't even know until I saw it on your list.
Okay.
Yeah. 100% indifference. I firmly believe that soccer and bicycles are for children. Anybody who takes them seriously as an adult, I don't have time for.
Gotcha. Moving on. Now, speaking of soccer, the team that did win was Spain. The women's team from Spain won the World Cup, and the first time the Spanish team, women's team, has ever won the World Cup. And tell me, do you think this is inappropriate? This is the gentleman who runs the leagues, basically the president of soccer in Spain, and he was so excited. But tell me, was this inappropriate? Everybody's going nuts about this, and he had to apologize. But show this video, Ben.
The president of the Spanish Football Federation has been slammed for this. Luis Rubiales kissed World Cup winner Jenny Hermoso on the lips.
Inappropriate. I mean, what the fuck?
Hey,
Stop jerking off, Steve.
I rented that video.
Steve went back to get some tissue.
It was called Soccer Moms.
I'll give you a ride home, Billy. I mean,
where are you putting those slices?
Well, here's the deal. We don't know that because it probably doesn't bother us in America, but culturally, it still might be like, no,
Yeah, but you're in Spain. This is like France. It's a love. It's like everybody kisses each other. Like everybody's kissing is a big thing. People in the United States don't kiss each other on the cheeks and shit. In Spain and in Europe, everybody, they kiss each other. They just the chicks just won the first World Cup, and the guy's just kissing her on the lips. He didn't stick his tongue down her throat, right? He just kissed her on the lips.
Wow. We know what that leads to.
Yeah. In front of the 10,000 people watching.
You didn't see his hand cupping.
Yeah. Next thing you know,
well, it's funny.
Butt stuff.
Yeah, next thing you know, butt stuff, and Brian's not going to be having any part of that. And then I guess the assistant coach or something like that, when he was excited, when they showed a picture of him grabbing the woman's tit. Like, haven't you hug somebody or an exciting moment, and you accidentally brush your arm on somebody's hand or tit? You know what I mean? Sometimes things get awkward. You know what I mean?
No,
I did that in third grade. Third grade, I was at the school nurse, and I had to get my blood pressure. And she's okay, straighten your arm, and it just grazed 4 inches of tit. And she just kind of turned red and smiled and did not move it. I was like, I'm touching a tit, but this is not the one I wanted to touch.
Yeah,
it's not mine. It's not mine.
Tit. Not Mrs. Westfall's tit, please.
It's funny when that shit happens. Last week after the show, we're hanging out at somebody's house after the show. This rich guy, a guy who played was a pitcher for the Yankees when I opened for Steve Trevino last week in Helium. So we went to this guy person's house, and there was this woman there who was married. She came over and started talking to me, and her tit was on my arm. When they come up and their tit is on my arm, I'm looking down at it like, oh, that's you're not going to move that thing? You're going to just leave it there? And I wasn't going to move my arm. What am I going to do? I'm going to be awkward and move my arm out of the way of the tit? I'm like, my arm was there first. My arm was there first. I'm not moving my arm.
Come on.
I think it was because and then it was. I didn't think it was an issue until her husband kept walking over from bowling. Her husband kept walking over like, oh, he kept like, oh, and then I felt weird. Like, oh, the guy thinks I'm trying to bang his girl, and but it was just weird. Yeah, the tit stayed on my arm. It didn't move. Like, oops, sorry. Like you said, no excuse me's. No more. Nobody says excuse me's anymore.
I'm sorry, I was going to tell you guys. On your arm.
I'm sorry, my tit. But I was going to tell you that too. When people don't say excuse me, when I was at the airport going through the TSA line and the checkpoint, this woman, it was a mess. She kept walking back and forth and talking to her husband in the other line, blah, 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 all this shit. And I was going nuts. And then she walked away from her shit, left it all on the thing where you get the luggage and it goes to the machine. And then I'm ready to walk out, and she walks right into my fucking path. And I stopped. I go, what the fuck? She goes, oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, you should be, bitch. Like, you don't own the fucking TSA check center. Anyway, maybe I need to get laid. It's been since November. All right. Here we go. This is our 7 call. Yeah. This is my admission. I haven't had sex since November. Hey, is Brian Dunkleman? Is Brian doing an impression of?
I think
Is
I'm
Brian doing an
right there
impression of
with you.
Biden? Yeah,
Biden, get vaccinated.
I thought Brian was doing an impression of
I
Brian was
thought
doing an
so
impression
too.
of
That's
Biden
what
there for
I thought. Somebody reach over
Send in
there
a
and wake him
text.
up.
So what the fuck was I saying? All right, let's get into Did You Hear? This is where we bring up stories of awkward moments and all kinds of things. Our first story: hawk drops snake on a woman, and then both animals attack her. I don't know if you saw this. What is the luck of that happening? A hawk flying over you, drops a snake on you, and then tries to catch the prey by eating your fucking arm up. Bad day for her.
Well, hey, what did she do? Nobody's talking about that. What did she do? You just get
Cried.
attacked like that. What'd she say?
Yeah, she was
What did she
walking.
say to the?
She was walking, and something dropped on her arm. She was like, "What the fuck?" And it got around. Then the hawk came and started fighting on it, and they both started biting her. I mean, what is she going to do? I mean, what would you do? Like, first of all, what would you do if a snake dropped on you from the sky? I mean, it's not like you practice for that. It's not like you're like trained for that kind of shit, you know. And then
Well,
the fucking hawk.
normally you would say that is a what they call a freak accident. But I would say with that is God saying, I hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A snake falling on you is a freak accident, or a hawk attacking you is a freak accident. Both, God was like, I want you off this planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your
Time
days are
for you to
numbered.
learn, woman. Time for you to learn.
Got it. All right. This was a good story. Armed Good Samaritan shoots suspect who allegedly knocked out an elderly man in a restaurant. Good for that. I love these stories where you see a Good Samaritan coming along and just fucking somebody up that's doing the wrong thing.
Me
It's
too.
unfortunate. Like what was the guy in New York, right? Who choked out the homeless guy who was like harassing everybody on the fucking subway train, and now they press charges on the guy, right?
Yeah. Then all of a sudden his story disappeared.
Yeah, what happened to him? I mean, he got like $3 million raised on a FundMe thing for his defense, but I couldn't
My
imagine
my
that.
my favorite one now is the one where the guy's holding a 6-pack of beer and shoots the guy. Have you seen that one?
No.
There's a guy robbing a convenience store, and this guy comes around the corner holding a 6-pack of beer, and he goes, "Oh," steps back, boom, 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 boom,
Ends the
never
guy.
drops the beer, never.
That could be a solution to shoplifting, like you said. So, people just start breaking out their guns and shooting people, and they're trying to get across targets fucking out their front door.
Well, here's what drives me crazy about the shoplifting thing. I was going to say this earlier because I've seen it said so many times, and it's so stupid. Is somebody's property worth more than a human life? Yes. Yes, it is, because that life is not worth anything.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. If you can't follow the rules of morality,
You
and
can't be
we
part of
let it,
society.
you can't be part of society. You're just not fit you're not set to fit in. You should be eliminated. And that's the thing about, you want to get rid of prisons, just start that's the thing. In California, they're trying to put the new legislation in that. All right, but if the same person gets caught twice, they add them all up, and now it's a major felony, right? Like they get away stealing $100, $300, they don't get arrested. But if they do it more than 2 or 3 times, put them away. You know, or send them to New York. They're getting pissed in New York. Stop sending us your fucking immigrants. Stop. We can't handle this shit. We need help. You're
I
a
know we
sanctuary
said we
city,
love them,
motherfucker.
but we don't.
Yeah, we act like we love them. We think we care about people, but stop sending these fucking freaks to our place. Yeah, that to me was one of the amazing things that happened in the last year, when they started shipping them from the border states into the blue states, and everybody started fucking freaking out. And you notice how more and more people started going, "We got to do something about this. Now we have to do something about it, right?
Yeah.
Now we have to do something about it." That was always great.
When they hit Martha's
Um,
Vineyard.
That was the point. Next story: nude Tour de France banned for public indecency on several of its stages. Yes, nothing is more unattractive than a nude person on a bike. Although it was a great way for Queen to sell that album. Was it Jazz? What was that album they had with the Fat Bottom Girls and Bicycle Race, and I think that was called Bicycle Race. But if you ever had the album, if you ever had the Queen album where that song came on, there's a poster in there with all these hot naked chicks on bikes.
Oh, well, I was going to say, whoever doesn't like naked people on bicycles has never seen Brian on a Sunday afternoon,
Yeah. Trying to do Palm Springs. All right. Well, where are we at here? Oh, there we go. All right, the next thing. Spain wins the World Women's Cup celebration marred when the... Oh, I already did that. We already showed that one. All right, never mind. Next story. Womb transplant. Listen, they're saying this cisgender... Now, they're talking about a womb transplant means pregnancy for biological men in the next 10 years. Steve, I'm going to let you lead
he's
with
thinking
this.
about it right now. Look at him.
I'm sorry, fellas. I got issues. I apologize.
You got issues?
Yeah.
Oh, like
Text
real life
messages.
stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
My apologies.
I thought Brian was thinking about getting a womb transplant.
Yeah. No. I'm just happy
sorry,
that I have
Brian.
a son, and he's a boy. He's decided he's a boy, and I said the word trans. He's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "That's exactly what you should say. You should not know."
I
Do you
agree.
feel...
It's dealing with the ex-wife, fellas.
Oh, boy.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry.
gotta...
I know how that is, having done it 4 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Well, that's the difference between you guys. My wife is gone. And it's like you lose somebody, right? You lost somebody, but when they pass, that's it. You just have the memories. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
when you're divorced, you have that they're gone, but now they're a different person gone, right? It's got to be they're a
Right.
different person, right? They're a complete different person.
But you'd still be with them.
Yeah.
Well, I thought last time you and I had talked about it, you kind of had straightened stuff out with your ex, and things were pretty good. But no, now.
The password is relapse.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's got to be tough. Well, let's do
Well,
this. Let's wrap it up.
We're talking about being different persons. What I've been going through and trying to figure out is I thought everything was cool with my wife all the way up until the one night of I'm not happy, I'm gone.
Yeah,
Like-
that's just
like
the rug
that
pulled out.
point. And we have not spoken in 7 months. How did we do 13 years of talking every day
Yeah.
until nothing? Like, talk about different person.
Yeah, see, at least I had the benefit of just 6 years of absolute living hell while I was trying to get divorced, and so
Yeah.
I saw it coming. Like,
Right. Well,
afraid
that'd be the better. That would be almost the better thing if you see it coming. Then when it happens, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm out of this. Instead of
You
going,
I got
mentally
divorced.
prepare.
I got
What the
divorced
fuck
on
just happened?
February 5th. February 5th of 2020. I'm free. What's this now? I guess I'll stay home for a year. I had a good 5 weeks where I thought about going out and getting laid again.
Yeah, it's got to be like usually. Like there was no sign. That's the amazing thing. Like usually there's a sign, right? There's usually things that
Yeah.
maybe you didn't see the signs because you were wrapped up and everything. But to have it just happen like that,
Well, what I have decided in my head, if we're talking about these kind of things, is she, and I've got this as a bit now in my act, but that she converted me from being outgoing and let's go to the bar tonight and let's go down to the country bar. You want to go see a band? To no, we've got food at the house. Let's watch some Netflix. I love just hanging on the couch with you. To I'm really bored with you. Well, you created this, Dr. Frankenstein. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't like all the decisions I've made for us, so I'm leaving.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the way it is. All right, our last
Well,
story.
we
Go ahead,
persevere,
Brian.
though. We
Yeah.
persevere because that's what men do,
Yeah.
right? We take care of our fucking business. We take care
You
of our
know,
We have to.
look
cats.
at the
Care of
three
our
of us.
son. I
We
mean,
are a sitcom waiting to happen. Three
I'm
totally
telling
different
you.
individuals whose life shit on them, and now they have to share a one-room studio apartment.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's do
Three
it.
men who were babies.
Three
Yeah.
men in a comedy condo.
Yeah, 3 men
Hey,
in a comedy condo.
feel we can get us to move into that shithole condo in Oklahoma.
Oh, it's
Where
gone now.
I had to put sheets over the couch. It smelled so bad.
Oh, yeah. That club, Oklahoma City Looney Bin, was it was part of my get bumped curse. I got
Oh, really?
a thumbs up at Dangerfields in November of 2019, and then they closed. I got
Yeah.
I got bumped a headline at Looney Bin at the Oklahoma City, then they closed. I'm like, please
So they're
don't fucking nobody else
gone.
promote me to headline anymore.
That one's
Yeah, they're
gone.
close. They're gone now. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, fix her wagon. No, the hell not do is blowjob bit. Night one. No blowjob bit. I quit stand up then. And I haven't done a gig since.
Have you not done a gig since then?
Last gig I did, I told Doug I have not done a gig since that week with you.
Wow, we need to get you back on the road.
We need a lot, man.
We do.
I need the ability to be able to leave town safely, so we'll see what happens.
I got to tell you, nothing helps more. That was the thing. Trevino called me when he found out what happened, and he says, "What can I do?" I said, "Take me on the road. Get me out of my house. I don't want to be lingering in the house." I mean, I had a friend that said that. But and by the way, since we talk about losses, one of my buddies I played soccer with in college, we called him Galaxy. He's from Sweden, like a big Viking, because he called him Galaxy because he thought the world of himself. But he called me up when that happened. My wife passed. He goes, "Doug, I'm going to tell you, you're never going to get over this, but you will get through it. You will get through it. You're a man. You will get through it." I'm like, I couldn't think of it. That's been my mantra ever since this happened. I'm going to get through this shit. Like the show. Our last story, by the way, did you hear? Y'all let boys do anything. Mom faces backlash on social media for allowing a 15-year-old son for getting a tattoo, and it's a horrible tattoo, by the way. Kids today.
Look at that ugly tattoo.
Hey, looks like he fell off his bike and had fucking road, right? Oh,
Yeah,
now,
that's not cool. To me, that's one of those things. You're supposed to be an adult. That's this goes back to what I've been saying about allowing kids too much input into their own lives too soon, because then you don't look forward to adult things. You don't
yeah.
You go have your first drink at 18 or 21, whenever it's legal. There's certain things that you get as an adult that you should not be achieving at 12 or 15.
Well, because your frontal lobe is not fully developed until you're 25. That's why we send you to war before that.
Yeah.
That's why we do that.
Yeah.
Kid's probably not, doesn't have it together. It's like when I explain stuff to my kid, like I'm going to explain weed. It's fucking great. Shouldn't smoke it till you're 25 because your brain's not done yet. You want to let your brain get fully developed before you fuck it all up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've had this conversation about legal weed because, I live in Colorado. And everybody's like, it's so much better than alcohol. Yes, possibly. But we all know potheads that their lives are garbage. So some people it affects and other people it doesn't. So making it just across the board has always been a scary thing for me, because it affects everybody different.
They stay home. They stay home and they don't go out, and they're not. There's more parking spots. That's the way I view it. Everybody
better parking.
Stay home and order DoorDash.
Ever since weed's been legal, there's been more parking spots. That is a great fucking observation. We should do a study around the country on that.
Well, ever since weed's been legal, we got Biden for president.
Ugh.
When we
You stop
really need
looking.
it.
You're like, yeah, whatever. He sounds cool. Sure.
Oh my God. I don't know if weed had anything to do with that, but nevertheless. Well, that's all you have time for here today on the Wake Up Late with Dougie show. I want to thank Steve Mudflat McGrew and Brian Dunkleman for joining us today, fellas. And Steve, what you got coming up, buddy?
I have got lot of cruise ship stuff. That's what I'm doing for most of the rest of the year, is doing cruise ship work. And I have need to get back into more clubs. I really miss being able to be full blown, let me say whatever the fuck I want to.
Yeah, that's a big difference. It is a big difference. People always ask me, why don't you work on a cruise ship? I go, because I have money, number one. And number two, I don't want to be, I don't want to be on a fucking boat. I don't
Yeah, if
like,
I was independently wealthy, never again.
yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel for that because that was a great paying gig, especially during the pandemic and shit like that. People were
Yeah.
getting those gigs. And I've had people reach out to me like, why don't you do it? And I go, because I have 20,000 shares of Amazon. I'm not going to fucking get on a boat and be a captive in a fucking in a fucking room that has no window, and I got to be told what to do and I can't do and shit. Fuck that. But you're right. There's that freedom
I
of
don't
being in
wanna,
a club.
Yeah, I don't want to do cruise ships either, but I can't. I can't even do the shit I don't want to do. I can't get
I can't
anybody
even do
hired.
the shit I don't want to do.
I can't. I can't. You can see me in an Uber or a Lyft for the near future till these strikes are over. But you can actually see my film Dunkleman is still available for purchase or rental on Amazon Prime Video. That's Dunkleman, spelled like it sounds. But if you want to know what happened on American Idol and everything else in my life, check that out. My son would like to eat.
Didn't
Yeah,
you
please
just
go.
recently do some commercials or something?
Oh yeah, I got a national campaign for Ryder Trucks right now with a really great guy. He's a PGA golfer named Sam Ryder, and I play his agent, convincing him Ryder didn't sign you to just because you have the same last name. They're really fun, and I'm shooting a couple more of those. So, and I also did an episode of How I Met Your Father. That's on Hulu right now. So the acting career finally started coming back just in time for the strike.
For the strike.
Strangle all the life right the fuck out of it. It's all about timing.
Things are going to be great. Things are going to be
that's
great. What the
Right.
fuck?
Well, that's my goal. That's what I was talking to a couple of people. I want to start doing more acting. I did some several years ago, but completely haven't done no commercials, anything. I would like to just do independent, even if it's independent film, just something to branch out besides how's everybody doing here tonight,
Yeah.
I know they did. They do stuff in Denver. You should keep an eye out for any kind of casting stuff, and a lot of it's over Zoom now. So hey,
Yeah.
I finally made some progress. I went 7 years
and
without
they're doing
acting.
a lot more They're doing a lot more westerns, which is what I want to do.
Perfect.
And I have the look.
Yeah. You definitely got the
you
look.
know what you do? You set your intention and you meditate on it, and you create your reality. Right? Isn't that how it works? That's all I'm learning.
Is that what you're doing? Because if you're doing it,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try.
it's all working out great. Everything's working great.
You definitely want to do the contrarian belief on this case. Don't think about it. Think about cleaning toilets, Steve. Think about cleaning toilets and not running out of toilet paper. And yeah, there you go.
Think about what
next thing you know, you're gonna
would
get a
do, and then
Well, that's awesome, guys. And yeah, hey, be sure to go download Dunkleman's movie on Amazon. You said Netflix,
Prime, Dunkleman. Yes.
Yeah, Amazon Prime, Dunkleman. Go get it, and go catch Steve on a cruise ship. And don't fuck him because he'll get fired. That's the problem. You can't be single on a cruise ship. You're working on a cruise ship. You can't get laid. Well, some people do, and they don't work anymore. Well, that's for me, everybody. This Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, opening for Steve Trevino, America's Favorite Husband. So if you're in the area, please go to that. And, of course, go to my website for more dates. Got a lot of tour dates coming up and all kinds of things. But other than that, guys, God bless. We would thank you so much for checking us out. Don't forget to subscribe to us on our YouTube if you're watching this on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go to our Facebook fan page and like us there and subscribe us there. Aside from that, God bless everybody. Take care, and we'll see you here when we come back right here at this spot later.
Wake up.